So the song tells us whole numbers to the left, decimals to the right, and then pause. So to the left are all my whole numbers. Whole numbers to the left, decimals to the right. So then everything that goes to the right of that decimal point are called decimal numbers.
And you can go all the way to 1,000.
Thousands, yes. In fourth grade, we only get to the hundredths.
Is there a thing that's millions?
I don't know. That's something to research. We could definitely do that. And it is, right? That's why I was saying, like, when we sing the songs, they make them, like, there's some really smart and creative people out there in the world, and they make them kind of catchy so that they stick, like, in your head, right? But you're practicing the lesson. So it's a win-win. Now, for the last couple of days, we've been talking about how if our numbers are moving to the left, they're getting larger, 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 larger. And the song says that. And then to the right, they get smaller and smaller till they're barely inside. Like whole numbers can get big, decimals can get small. So that big, small, we're not going to write that because we already have it in our notes from the last 2 days. Okay? You can't see like this? I'm going to zoom in more. So, the first place value in my whole numbers. What is the smallest place value in my whole numbers? What is that called? The place value. Tell me. Yes, ones. The ones place. And it is represented by a 1. Now, as we move to the left, my place values are getting bigger. So, what place value is after the ones? Tens. Yes. Get another one. They're right here, baby. Be a problem solver, not a problem maker. My tens place is the what?
100.
Okay, just making sure that you're awake, man. And we've talked about how we see the pattern, that it's a 1 and then a 1 0 and then 1 0 0, and the pattern continues, the pattern never ends, right? That's another song for another day. We could continue, but for the sake of this lesson, we're going to stop here. Then we know as it moves to the right, my place values get smaller. So it kind of sounds backwards because you say, well, to the right of the ones is the tenths and then the hundreds. But tens and hundreds, tens, hundreds, that's getting bigger. So how is it tens and hundreds over here? That's a little confusing. Does anybody know why? Tell me. Yes, it is. Sounds similar to tens, but it's not tens. It is tenths. That's a very good point. Yes, any other guesses?
Because it's the opposite of the actual number, and it's just 0.001.
Exactly. It is getting smaller. So that means if I have a whole number and I break it up into, this is just for show, you don't have to do this. If I have a whole number, that is my whole. It is the whole thing, right? But tried this with 10 friends. I have this sheet cake that they bought me, and it's so much for me to eat. So I'm going to share it with my 10 friends. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to pretend that all of these lines are equally distributed and that they're like straight, right? Because I'm a wonderful artist. But then more people come and they're like, oh, you have a sheet cake? I love sheet cakes. Can I have some? Can I make these pieces smaller?
Yeah.
I can. I can make them into hundreds. So now I can divide it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh my gosh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to pretend that these are all equally distributed and that my lines are straight. So even though it sounds like tens, hundreds, it's going up. No, because it has that TH, the pieces are actually getting smaller. Yes, tell me.
It's getting smaller because it's a decimal.
Yes, very good. Because remember that decimal means a piece of it. When we use coins instead of dollars, it's because they are pieces of those dollar bills. So, smaller than a ones, smaller than one whole, we said is the what? Tens. Tens are written like 0.1. Technically, that's a tenth. But while I'm teaching it at the very beginning, I like to put that 0 just because it's easier to make that connection. 0 whole numbers, point, 1 tens, and 0 hundreds. That's what I'm saying. And then smaller than tens, I have my what? Hundreds. So hundreds means I have 0 whole numbers, 0 tens, and 1 hundred. Okay, everybody catch up. I'm going to give you a little bit numbers that have decimals. So just like when we learned that we can represent whole numbers using standard form, base tens, expanded form, expanded notation, and word form, we can do the exact same thing for decimals. So, standard form means that I'm going to use digits to represent my number. Like, I'm just going to write the digits like normally, like I'm used to writing numbers. 2.35. Base 10 models are my base 10 blocks. Okay, now I want you to look here. These are my 100 flats, yes? What are these called?
100 flats.
Hold on, because not everybody is ready to say it. Okay, what are these called?
100 flats.
Very good. So out of this flat, my denominator tells the total of the parts. This is my denominator, and we're going to revisit that when we go to our fractions lesson. How many total parts here? 100. How many total parts here? 100. Those are all of the pieces that my cake was cut into, or the possible pieces. These are all of the pieces that are possible for me to cut my cake into. Now, if I look at this part, the whole entire thing is shaded, right? So that means 100 out of the 100 were chosen. Another way to say this is one whole was chosen. One whole piece was chosen. So this is like saying I have 1 in the ones place. Some of us, or I should say one of us, is not looking at the screen. So that means you're not writing your notes. Remember, your seat is there so that you can be your best self. If you are seated somewhere where you're not being your best self because you're distracted, or you can't see, you're too far, or you can't hear, you're too far, or whatever, then I'm going to move you so that you can sit somewhere else where you're going to be most successful. So if you're sitting to your bestie, but you can concentrate, cool.
Yeah.
But if you're sitting next to your bestie and you can't concentrate, then are you being your best self? No. So I'm going to have to move you. Okay, let's look at the next one. How many are shaded in this other sheet cake?
All of it.
The whole thing. So 100 out of 100 pieces are shaded. So now I have one whole thing that is shaded, another whole thing that is shaded. Well, guess what? That represents my 2. Now let's look at the next piece. I have 3 lines that are shaded, right? So those are my tenths because I know that the little sticks are made up of 10 little squares. So this is 1/10, 2/10, 3/10. Guess what? 3/10. That's right here. 500s. Those are my tiny little pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are my 500s. So I can split it up in my place value chart by saying 3/10 or 500s. I mean, no, not or, and 3/10 and 500s. That's one way to say it. But these, each of them is a 100th. So I can also say there are 35 hundredths. The value has not changed. I'm still saying I have 35 pieces, 35 cents. This is our focus for today. Okay? Then we move on to the other ones. Just like we've done this when we started place value. And then we're going to do this. And then we're going to move on. Expanded form. Ooh, who remembers the motion that we do when we stretch it out? Remember I talked about how we learn in different ways? And this one's acting. That's one of them. So when we stretch it out, we're showing the value of the digits. And then down here, this one like barely came out, so we're going to fill it in. This one is called expanded notation. We're going to get to this one next week. Expanded notation has multiplication. You see how it has multiplication signs? You're going to see why next week.
Multiplication, right?
Yeah, I came up with that myself. Alright, and then we have word form. Well, the name says it all. Word form means that you use only words. Avi. So, let's revisit. My ones, those are called whole numbers. Whole numbers to the left. Huh? See what? Whole numbers to the left. Decimals to the right. So then all of these are called I was like whole numbers to the left, whole numbers to the right. What song is that? Now the reason that we describe them as whole numbers, remember we said it's because if I have a 100 flat, which means I have 100 as a denominator, the whole thing is going to be shaded in. So I will shade 100 out of 100. That's a whole number.
3 arrows in the 100.
I know, because it just continues.
I'm going to the same color.
Decimals are my tenths and hundredths. So it has the word 10 because I'm still going to use my 10 rods, but it has the HS as an abbreviation for hundredths. So if I have a 100 flat, my denominator down, denominator tells the total of the parts. Means that I am going to represent this with 10 rods. So this would be 10 cubes out of 100. That's represented by a 10 rod. Then we make our pieces even smaller. We have our 100 flat, but I'm only going to choose one little cube to be shaded, and those are my hundredths. So I have 1 out of 100. You're like, Ms. Ella, I know we already wrote this. I know, but it's because we're going to be solving on this page, and I want this to be your cheat sheet. It's going to give you hints of what you're going to write. My whole number? Yes, go baby. I can say 1. I can write a 1, or I can write 1.00, because that would represent 1 whole, 0 tenths, 0 hundredths. A lot of times, you're not going to see a decimal next to a number. So let me say this clearly. If you don't see a decimal next to a number, automatically it means it's a whole number. Let me say that again. If you don't see a decimal next to a whole number, automatically it's a whole number.
Okay.
So 1 whole can be written like this, but for the sake of this lesson, we're going to say it's 1.00 because it's 1 whole, 0 in the tenths, 0 in the hundredths. My tenths is written as 0 because there's 0 in the ones place, decimal, 1 in the tenths place. So I can write it like that. That's not wrong. And I can also write it like that. Has the same exact value because it means 0 in the ones, 1 in the tenths, 0 in the hundredths. And then we move to hundredths. 0 in the ones place, 0 in the tens place, 1 in the hundredths place. And we're going to work this out together. So we're on page 47. Number 1 and 2 says, shade the grids for each number. Then write the word form for each number. So this is the number that I'm going to look at. I'm going to write this in my handy dandy place value chart. I have a 1.06. So if I have a 1 and I have a 100 flat, if it's an emergency, yes. If you can wait till the end, then wait till the end. If I have my 100 flat, how much am I going to shade in? It's one whole thing. So I'm going to shade in the whole thing. Show me. If I have a whole, the whole. Let me see. Emilio did that beautifully. Okay, show everybody. Whole. Very good. So I'm going to shade in the whole thing. Ándale, he's turning into Hulk or something. Okay, so 100 out of 100.
I love
If I have 0 in the tens, am I doing anything there? No, there's no value. I don't even have to write or draw anything. I could have a 100 flat, but then I'm not going to shade anything because there's 0. So this would be 0, hundreds. I don't have to. You might see it both ways. Likely not. And then I have my hundredths. So that means that out of a 100 flat, how many should I shade? 6. Little tinies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which means 6 out of 100. Now guess what? Because you already did the work here, you already have the answers here.
Oh, I know.
Ah, connection.
I did.
So I'm going to shade 1 hole. You can shade it with your highlighter or with pencil. It doesn't matter. Remember that when we color in math, it's not for perfection. It's just to mark it. Now, you don't have to do anything here. Most of the time, guys, if you have a number like 1.06, they're only going to give you 2 flats. But in this one, they did it just to show you there's no value there. You're not going to put anything.
Okay.
6. We said we were going to shade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. Now, if I'm going to say this in word form, how do I say this number in word? Well, first say it out loud. How do I say this number out loud?
1.06.
Freeze. Point?
No.
What does my decimal stand for? And. Okay. So 1 whole and what?
600.
Beautiful.
I love that.
1 whole and 6 hundredths. Now we have to remember our days in lower grades and spell things correctly. Spell our numbers correctly. So 1 whole and 600. Okay.
Everybody focus.
Okay. So number 2 said 2.36. So I'm going to write 2.36. So how many whole numbers do I have? 2. So I'm going to have 100 frames. And the whole thing, 100 flats, the whole thing is shaded.
And that's 200.
Now remember I told you usually they don't give you 100 frame for the tens and then 100 frame for the hundreds like they did here. Usually they don't do it like that. They do it like this.
Like this.
So if they're representing the 2, this would be 1 whole, the whole thing. Another whole number, the whole thing. Then I have 3 in the tens. So I'm going to shade in 1, 2, 3 10 rods. And how many hundredth cubes? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Give me a thumbs up if you're like, hold on, but wait, you don't even know. I was going to say give me a thumbs up if you poked your nose. Wait for instructions. Give me a thumbs up if you're like, I totally got this. I can do this in my sleep. Wait, you don't know what the next options are. Give me a thumb in the middle if you're like, I got it, but I'm still clarifying some things. And give me a thumbs down if you're like, okay, I need to go over this again because I'm still not sure. Okay, show me. And be honest with yourself. Be honest. It's okay. We're learning. This is day one, guys.
This is
Okay.
I don't get it. So we're doing here.
Okay, so what are we doing here? That's a great question.
It's because the two, I thought it was.
So, let's see. Okay, thank you. Thumbs down. So, let's make the connections of why we are using this. That was a very good question. But I need all our friends to be ready to listen. Okay. So, this is our place value chart, right? And we have the ones place, the tenths place, and the hundredths place. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in the ones place, when we wrote the digit was 2.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
So I know I have 2 whole numbers in the ones. How do I know that these are whole numbers? Because these are my dollar bills. Whole numbers to the left, decimals to the right. Okay, breathe. So I know these are whole numbers because they're whole dollar bills. Now, this doesn't actually look like this. It's small here, but really in life, this is what it looks like. It looks like 100 pieces. This is just my outline because I can't make 100 little pieces here. I can't do that. It's too small for me. Okay? So this shows you 100 out of 100 were shaded. This is my one whole number. This is like this being 100 out of 100 were shaded.
Yes.
This is one whole number. Better? This is another little tinies. Imagine it's this. So I have 100 pieces out of 100 that were shaded. That's another whole number. So here I have 100 out of 100. That represents another whole number. So now when I put these two together, ooh, I know I have 2 whole numbers. Now, this is not a whole, and so that's how I know my decimals are starting, because this whole thing is not shaded. So then I go back to what I've learned about my base 10 blocks. If I have a 3 in the tens place, well then I'm going to color 3 10 rods. Now, why 10 rods? Because this 3 doesn't actually stand for 3. It stands for 30. So right here, this is 10, 20, 30. Then here, I have the tiny little cubes. Now, it's understandable that you got confused with these tiny little cubes and these big cubes.
Yes.
So these tiny little cubes represent each one of these. The whole thing.
It was 1, and then I didn't know what to write for the 2.
Got it. Okay. So this was problem number 1. This was problem number 2. So this is a whole new problem. So the reason we wrote a 2 was because we put these two together. So now I have 36 tiny little pieces. So this is written as 36 out of 100. Yes, quickly. Now, did that help? Okay, beautiful. And guys, it takes a lot of courage sometimes to say, okay, Ms. Vela, I don't get it. But you know what? You can be brave. Remember, you're beautiful. You don't need to be like everybody else. You just need to be like yourself. So if your bestie got it, cool. But if you didn't, that's okay. You're normal. You need to tell me, Ms. Vela, I don't understand. Can you explain it to me a different way? Because that is literally what I'm here to do. otherwise, I'm not going to find out that you didn't understand it until you already turned in an assignment and you got a bad grade. And I don't want that. I want to prevent that for you. I want to teach you as soon as you're like, oh, I don't get it, tell me so that I can step in and clarify it for you. And after I clarify it, if you're still like, okay, I still don't get it, that's totally okay too. I will sit with you and we'll go over it. Fair?
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. So how do I say this out loud?
2 and the 2 holes and 3 and 2 holes and 36 hundred.
Very good. 2 holes and now I can't say 3 tens and 6 hundredths, right? Because I'm putting the whole number together. So it's 2 holes and 36 hundredths. Okay, so let's write that together. 2 holes and 36 hundredths.